Hey, it's your girl Markey Spencer coming to you with the simple fried chicken tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for some funny moments at the end of the video. Okay, tribe, you want to start with a clean, empty bowl and add your flour and 1 cup of cornstarch. And this is what we will be using to create that crispy goodness of layer to our chicken. This is what is going to put the fried into our fried chicken. And you're going to mix all of that together. Get it nice and blended. And then what you want to begin to do is now prepare the spices that's going to go on the actual chicken. What we're going to do is actually half of what we use is going to go directly on the chicken and half is going to go into the flour. So we're going to start off by putting in 1 tablespoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of paprika. I love paprika, by the way. 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of Mrs. Dash, and lastly a tablespoon of oregano. Now this whole process is totally optional in terms of the combination of spices that you use. You can use a number of spices to your liking. This is just how I do it. Okay, so now what I'm doing, guys, is I am running cold water onto the chicken, and I'm pretty much making sure there's no ice, and I'm inspecting the chicken, looking for any visible unplucked feathers, because sometimes they are present. I'm draining it now, of course, and the purpose of me doing this is just to make sure, like I said, no ice or chunks of ice are into the chicken. And what I'm doing now is I'm just getting a bowl and I'm gathering my supplies. I'm gonna prepare a white vinegar and cold water wash. Well, it's gonna be to clean the chicken, because what I like to do is I put my chicken through a whole process. No matter if it's a thigh, breast, leg, even if it's a whole chicken, it don't matter, because yeah, we have to clean our food properly. So now that I have that in the bowl, I actually realized that I needed that bowl. So what I did was I just poured it into this bowl here that had a little flour in it. So I'm just washing that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse it. I'm washing that with some warm soap and water. And now I'm just going to pour the vinegar and cold water, rinse into the bowl. You don't want to use hot water, not for this process. So what I do is I put a couple pieces of little wings inside of the wash, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. What I'm going to proceed to do is I'm going to start scraping the chicken, because I noticed that sometimes with chicken, it has, like, when you scrape it, it has like the little fat and gunk. I just want to get that off, just pretty much just cleaning it. What I'm doing is I'm horizontally going across and I'm cutting. I cut right to the bone. I put 1 slash in the chicken, just like that, like so, because what that does is that helps when frying the chicken. It helps to just helps with the frying, as opposed to frying chicken in a way where you keep frying it, and then while it's in the frying pan, you're cutting it, and grease is popping everywhere. And if you're not careful or experienced, you can easily hurt yourself. Be careful also with this as well. I'm trying my best to hold the chicken in a way in which I can show you better, so that you can kind of see how I'm holding it. The way in which I won't cut my hand. It's kind of difficult because of the way my tripod is positioned. I'll show you again. What you want to do is you want to cut horizontally, like slanted across the chicken down to the bone. You just want to press, see, just slant it, and then just pull the knife through. It doesn't have to be perfect. Boom, just like that. This is not the end of this process. This chicken will be rinsed again here. See, some feathers. Pretty much what scraping the chicken does is it's a trick that I use, where sometimes feathers that you don't see if you would just normally just take the wings out of the box, rinse them, and dump them in the pan. Sometimes when you're scraping the chicken like that, it causes the unplucked feathers to poke up. And also it just to help just clean it, just peace of mind. This is totally optional. You don't have to do this, but this, like I said, this is what I do because this is what makes me feel better. So yeah, I find that slicing the chicken down the middle across the bone, it does help, because it does help cook the chicken more thoroughly, like I said, as opposed to having the chicken in the frying pan, having it frying, the grease is popping, and you're trying to stick a fork in the chicken, you know, trying to pull or slice down with a knife. It's just easier to do it this way. This is just something a habit that I picked up, that I've been doing ever since I began or learned how to clean a chicken. It's pretty simple. I feel that it's a pretty nice way to, you know, just make sure the chicken is clean properly, and then you get to scrape off, you know, some caked up fat or anything that's, you know, hiding in between the skin. So I'm going to let you continue watch me repeat the same process for each and every piece of chicken, and see how I do it. Okay, so now that I'm coming up on my last piece of chicken, what I want to do is I want to put some of the leftover chicken in a Ziploc bag, just in case we may need it for another time, because we already have enough pieces. Discarding of my wing bag, pouring out that excess water. Put that over in the freezer and put that bag in the trash can. Now I'm just gonna finish up my last couple of wings, and then we can start the fun part. This recipe, in terms of the amount of spices that was used, it covered about, I want to say, 20 wings. So now I'm just cleaning my area. Okay, so now it's time to rinse the clean chicken. It is featherless and it is slit, and all the gunk and fat has been removed. So we're just rubbing it together, just giving it a bath, rinsing it in cold water. What we're going to be doing is we're going to dry the chicken wings. This is the most important step. You must make sure your wings are patted dry. Now here I'm just cleaning up my area. Now, since we're done with that, we're gonna get this oil heated. The oil that I use is the canola oil. I always fry with the canola oil. And what you wanna do is you wanna fill the oil to the halfway mark. I try not to go over the two little knobs inside of the pan. That's how I usually measure. And I place the oven on medium heat. And then I turn my attention back to the chicken. Taking some of the seasoning mix that we mixed up earlier, we're going to rub that in. Not all of the seasoning, because the rest of the seasoning will be reserved for the flour and cornstarch mixture. Now, as we combine the last of our seasoning, we're gonna mix that in. Then we're going to begin to dredge the chicken. We're gonna put it all in there. These are about 20 wings, so the mix pretty much covers them very well. You don't have as much left over. It was portioned out pretty decent. So we're just gonna dredge them. And then we are going to give these chickens life. We are going to put them in the grease that we have warming up on the stove, and we are going to fry these bad boys up. So now we are ready to fry everything up. What I'm doing here is I'm taking a bamboo skewer and I'm testing the oil to see if it's hot enough to start frying. When you take the wooden stick or a skewer, you can place it in the oil, and that is like a test to see if the oil is hot enough to cook the chicken in or fry whatever it is you're frying. You'll know when it's ready when you see the bubbles. So another way to tell if the oil is done, you pinch off a little bit of flour and you chuck it into the frying pan, and if the flour boils out, it immediately disappears. That's how you know it's ready to go. Now, layering the chicken one by one, you want to make sure to not overlap the chicken. Although if you're using a deep pot to fry your chicken in, you can, but I like to put mine in a big enough frying pan so that I can see everything that I'm doing. And look at how beautiful and golden that looks. We're just gonna let that fry out, and how you know when it's done is not only because of that beautiful brown color, but also the loud sizzle that you heard in the beginning. You won't hear it towards the end. It'll be more of like a whisper sizzle, if that's even a thing. You remove the chicken, put it on a paper towel, and voila, here we go. Some crispy, beautiful fried chicken. Look, I know that there are a lot and tons of cooking videos out there, some good ones, entertaining ones. And also comment down in the box below if you would like to see other simple recipes that are beginner friendly as well. Y'all, my husband, y'all, I just can't. He got a goof off in every video. So I just want you guys to know that we love y'all. We haven't forgotten to share. And now that we've got the fine stuff, and now that we've got that out the way, I can't even concentrate. Look, see, he's so tall, he's breaking the lamp, breaking the chandelier. I just you caught it. He's okay. He's okay. But yeah, like I was saying, I lost my train of thought. As you know, we got some things, we still have things lined up for you guys. Okay, we love you guys. Have a good night. I am tired. I'm gonna put everything back well, everything's already in the dishwasher. I'm gonna go freshen up, lay down. Y'all want his phone number? I should post his phone number. Like, oh. So, you got anything to say, Pat, since you like bombing mine?
Just like being in your video.
All right, y'all. So, you guys have a good night. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget us. We haven't forgotten y'all.
Peace.
Have a good night.